Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every person's life when you must decide what you will give your energy to, the noise around you or the transformation within you. The world keeps shouting for results, for titles, for applause, but destiny whispers something different. Destiny says, become, grow, evolve. Shift from who you were into who you're called to be. Because when you focus on becoming, success cannot help but chase you down. You were not created to live in a cycle of proving yourself to people who cannot even see your potential. You were not designed to wake up every day worried about whether success is getting closer or moving further away. Success is not something you run after. It's something you attract by the person you are becoming. Every breakthrough begins with an internal shift. Every elevation starts with a private decision. People see the results, but heaven sees the process. And the truth is, the process is where champions are born. Not in the spotlight, not in approval, but in the quiet places where your character is shaped, your discipline is sharpened, and your identity is strengthened. Focus on becoming stronger, not louder, becoming wiser, not faster, becoming grounded, not desperate. Because when you grow into the kind of person who can handle success, success starts pursuing you. Opportunities begin to find you. Doors swing open without you knocking. Blessings arrive without you begging. Your transformation sends a signal that tells the world, I'm ready, ready for influence, ready for responsibility, ready for greater. And once you're ready inwardly, nothing can deny you outwardly. Stop asking for the next level if you're not working on the next version of yourself. Stop chasing validation when you should be chasing growth. Stop looking for shortcuts when you should be building foundations. The more you become, the more you can carry. The more you grow, the more you attract. Life responds to who you are, not just what you want. And if you become the person destiny designed you to be, success won't just show up, it will overtake you. It will chase you. It will surround you. So today, shift your focus. Don't chase the trophy. Chase the transformation. Don't chase the spotlight. Chase the strength. Don't chase the finish line. Chase the growth that prepares you for it. There is a truth that many people overlook in their pursuit of achievement. Success is not something you hunt down like prey. Success is not something you chase through exhaustion, desperation, or frantic effort. Success is a mirror that reflects who you are becoming. It moves toward the person who has prepared themselves for it. It gravitates toward the individual who grows, evolves, and rises from within. Success is attracted by identity, not urgency. It is pulled toward maturity, not movement. And until a person understands this, they will continue running after things they were meant to attract. The world teaches a loud kind of striving, push harder, run faster, hustle endlessly, compete constantly, chase results. And while effort matters, effort alone will never secure what your character cannot sustain. Many people chase success the way a shadow chases light, stretching themselves thin, confused about why they never feel fulfilled. They chase money without learning discipline. They chase recognition without building integrity. They chase opportunities without developing the internal strength to carry them. The result is always the same temporary wins, but long-term emptiness. True success is never simply a reward for activity. It is a reflection of identity. It is the outward evidence of inward change. It is the natural consequence of becoming a person capable of holding greater responsibility, greater wisdom, and greater impact. When you commit to the process of becoming, you begin to embody qualities that success cannot resist. You become stable enough to handle pressure. You become focused enough to resist distraction. You become wise enough to choose long-term vision over short-term pleasure. You become disciplined enough to carry the weight of the next level without collapsing under it. Your becoming is a magnet. Everything in your life, opportunities, relationships, resources, responds to that magnet. When you grow, you elevate the signal you send into the world. You communicate readiness without saying a word. You shift from wanting success to preparing for it. You move from hoping for more to becoming someone who can be trusted with more. And that transformation is what draws success towards you. Success is a matter of alignment, not pursuit. You align yourself by shaping your habits, refining your mindset, and strengthening your emotional resilience. You align yourself by choosing integrity over shortcuts, consistency over comfort, purpose over popularity. When you do this, it begins to recognize you as someone capable of handling greater responsibility. And when life recognizes your readiness, doors open that you don't have to knock for. People recommend you without you campaigning for it. Blessings find you without you chasing them. This is why people who obsess over chasing success often burn out. They are trying to pull something toward them without building the foundation required to sustain it. They want the fruits without preparing the soil. They want the harvest without planting the seeds. They want elevation without transformation. Success is not fooled. It is not drawn to the noise of ambition. It is drawn to the quiet strength of growth. It doesn't follow those who scream for it, follows those who grow into it. When you focus on becoming, you shift your entire approach to life. You begin to prioritize inner development over outer applause. You stop comparing your progress to others because you realize your journey is unique. You begin to respect the pace of your growth instead of rushing it. You choose quality over speed. You stop chasing validation because you understand that validation gained through growth is natural and long-lasting. You stop begging for opportunities because opportunities begin to recognize the value of who you are becoming. Becoming is not glamorous. It is not flashy. It often happens in silence, in solitude, in seasons where nobody sees what you're building. These are the moments that shape your identity. Growth develops in the hidden places, early mornings, long nights, disciplined choices, painful lessons, uncomfortable reflections. The person you become in private eventually steps into the light with strength, clarity, and purpose. And when that version of you emerges, success takes notice. You do not have to chase what you are becoming qualified to attract. A strong identity is irresistible. A disciplined mind is unstoppable. A grounded spirit is magnetic. Success gravitates toward people who know who they are, who are committed to their mission, who refuse to be distracted by temporary noise or superficial applause. Success trusts the person who has invested in their growth. Success honors the person who has cultivated resilience through experience. Success respects the individual who has built their foundation with intention. There is power in shifting your focus from pursuing success to developing yourself. When you grow, everything connected to you grows. Your relationships deepen, your opportunities expand, your clarity sharpens, your capacity increases. When you grow, you no longer fear missing out because you understand that what is meant for the person you are becoming will always find its way to you. When you grow, you stop asking if you are good enough and start realizing that greatness is a natural expression of the identity you've built. Success becomes a companion instead of a chase. It walks with you instead of running away from you. It responds to you instead of hiding from you. It follows you because you have become someone worth following. So shift your energy. Focus on developing your mindset, not just your goals. Focus on strengthening your character, not just your ambition. Focus on building your discipline, not just your dreams. Because when you invest in becoming, you build a foundation so strong that success cannot resist it. Success comes when you are ready for it. And readiness is never accidental. It is intentional, deliberate, and deeply rooted in who you are becoming. So choose growth, choose depth, choose transformation. When you do, success will not be something you chase. It will be something that chases you. Transformation is one of the most sacred processes a human being can experience. It is not loud, it is not glamorous, and it is rarely understood by the people watching from the outside. Greatest changes in your life do not begin with applause, recognition, or spotlight. They begin in the unseen places, the quiet corners of your life where nobody is clapping, nobody is watching, and nobody is measuring your progress. Real transformation begins in private long before the world ever notices anything different about you. Private transformation is where the soul does its deepest work. It is where you confront truth, face weaknesses, heal wounds, and sharpen your identity. It is where you make decisions that nobody knows about, sacrifices nobody sees, and choices that reshape your future. And even though nobody may recognize your growth at first, the unseen work is what produces the visible results later. Without the private process, public reward collapses. People often want the result without the refinement. They want to show greatness without building the character that sustains greatness. They want the spotlight without the discipline that prepares them for the spotlight. But every strong structure depends on a foundation buried beneath the ground. Every tall tree first grew roots nobody could see. Every breakthrough begins in the places hidden from human eyes. There are moments in life when you feel isolated, misunderstood, or overlooked. Not because you are failing, but because you are being developed. The private season is a sacred season. It's where you grow in silence, where you wrestle with yourself, where you gain clarity about who you are and what you're called to become. It is the season where old identities die and new versions of you begin to form. It is quiet, but it is powerful. It is unseen, but it is essential. Transformation in private teaches you discipline. It teaches you humility. It strengthens your resilience because there is no external validation to feed your ego. You have to be committed for the sake of your future, not the sake of recognition. You learn to value consistency over applause. You learn to walk with purpose even when no one acknowledges your steps. You learn to trust the process even when the process seems slow. This private work is what gives you the internal stability to handle the public world. If you rise publicly before you have grown privately, the pressure will break you. But when you allow yourself to be shaped in silence, strengthened in solitude, transformed away from public opinions, you emerge with a strength that no criticism can shake and no challenge can intimidate. The private season is where you learn yourself. You learn your triggers, your patterns, your strengths, your capacities. You learn what drains you and what nourishes you. You learn what you want out of life and what you refuse to tolerate anymore. It is where you create boundaries, develop habits, and build a mindset capable of carrying the life you are preparing for. This is the invisible work that produces visible greatness. When transformation is happening deep within, people may not understand you. They may think you're distancing yourself, losing interest, or acting differently. What they don't realize is that you're evolving. You're shedding layers that no longer serve you. You're breaking cycles you refuse to repeat. You're disconnecting from noise so you can rise into clarity. And the very same people who question you during your transformation will one day admire the results of the changes they couldn't see. Public stages belong to those who were willing to grow in private. Success belongs to those who were faithful in seasons where nobody applauded them. Influence belongs to those who built integrity when nobody was watching. The world sees the result, the confidence, the strength, the wisdom, the accomplishments, but the world rarely sees the process. They do not see the nights of self-reflection, the mornings of discipline, the internal battles, moments of doubt you had to overcome. They do not see the tears you prayed through or the lessons you learned quietly. All of that becomes the foundation for the life you will eventually walk into. Transformation is not a moment, it is a quiet progression. A private evolution, steady shift in your thinking, your choices, your habits, and your values. Every day you show up differently in private, you are shaping who you will be tomorrow. Every internal victory becomes an outward expression later. Every unseen sacrifice becomes a visible blessing in time. There will be seasons where your life feels paused, where nothing seems to be moving, where results do not match your effort. But that is the season of roots. That is the season where you are being anchored, strengthened, and prepared for what is coming. A tree does not grow branches until it grows roots. A building does not rise upward until the ground beneath it is secured. Your life will not elevate until the foundation of your identity is strong enough to support your purpose. Do not rush the private process. Do not despise the quiet season. Do not become discouraged when nobody recognizes your progress. Greatness is always formed away from the crowd. True growth is always born in silence. And the person you become in private is the one the world will eventually meet, stronger, wiser, more grounded, more confident, more intentional. When the transformation becomes visible publicly, people will think it happened suddenly. They will think you changed overnight. They will say you grew fast. But you and your journey will know the truth. It didn't happen overnight. It happened in every silent morning you showed up for yourself, in every prayer no one heard, in every decision you made to rise instead of fall, in every moment you chose discipline over excuses. It happened in the unseen places where the real you was being built. Transformation begins in private because your character needs room to grow without the pressure of opinions. Your identity needs space to evolve without the noise of expectations. Your spirit needs time to strengthen without the weight of external performance. And when you finally step into the public version of your destiny, you will step in prepared, aligned, and empowered because you honored the private process. There are moments in life when elevation feels delayed, when breakthroughs seem slow, when opportunities look distant. You wonder if you're being overlooked, if you're falling behind, if life has forgotten your name. But the truth is far deeper than frustration or impatience. The next level doesn't respond to desire alone. It responds to readiness. And readiness is not announced with words. It is communicated through growth. Personal growth sends a signal into the atmosphere that says, I am prepared for more. It is the silent language of elevation, the invisible announcement that you have matured beyond where you used to be, and now you are capable of handling what once would have broken you. Growth is not just learning new things, it is becoming someone new. It is shifting your mindset, strengthening your discipline, refining your character, aligning your actions with the person you want to be. The next level requires more than talent or ambition. It requires depth, resilience, clarity, and emotional strength. These qualities cannot be faked, forced, or manufactured. They must be developed through intentional growth. And once they are developed, they send a powerful message to life itself. When you grow, you communicate that you can handle pressure without falling apart. You show that you can make decisions from wisdom instead of impulse. You prove that you can carry responsibility without losing yourself. Grow enlarges your capacity, and capacity is what determines what level you can step into. If you enter your next level without the capacity to sustain it, very thing you prayed for becomes the weight that crushes you. But when you grow, you become stronger, steadier, more centered, and suddenly the next level recognizes you as someone who can steward it well. Life does not promote based on excitement. It promotes based on evolution. People often want the next chapter while holding onto the mindset of the previous one. They expect doors to open while remaining the same as they've always been. But elevation requires transformation. You cannot take small thinking into big opportunities. You cannot carry old wounds into new seasons. You cannot bring undisciplined habits into a future that demands excellence. Growth is your preparation. Growth is your training ground. Growth is the evidence that you're not just wanting the next level. You're becoming the version of yourself who belongs there. There are silent shifts that happen inside you long before anything shifts around you. You begin to outgrow excuses. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop settling for patterns that drain you. You start taking responsibility for your choices, your time, your energy, your healing, your direction. You start saying no to distractions, yes to discipline, yes to clarity, yes to boundaries. These internal shifts send a signal that you're not clinging to your past, that you're not resisting growth, that you're ready to carry more, to do more, to be more. Growth moves you into alignment with your destiny. The next level cannot connect with the version of you who refuses to grow. When you elevate inwardly, the next level recognizes you. It sees your maturity. It sees your readiness. It sees your evolution. Opportunities that once avoided you now approach you because you've developed the inner strength to sustain them. People who once overlooked you now value you because your growth has deepened your presence. Doors that once stayed closed now open because you are no longer the person who would waste what's behind them. You don't have to announce your growth. You don't have to convince anyone that you've changed. Growth speaks loudly without making a sound. It shows in the way you respond instead of react. It shows in the way you choose purpose over comfort. It shows in the way you protect your peace, your focus, your boundaries. It shows in the way you stop entertaining chaos and start prioritizing clarity. The next level pays attention to these things, pays attention to who you are becoming, not just what you are asking for. When you grow, your vision becomes clearer. Things that once distracted you no longer have power. The people who once influenced you no longer define your direction. You begin to see your life through a different lens, a higher, wiser, more focused perspective. This shift in vision is a sign of readiness. The next level requires someone who can see beyond the temporary, someone who can make decisions based on purpose rather than pressure. Growth teaches you to see the bigger picture, and that vision is what draws elevation towards you. There is a spiritual dimension to growth. When you grow, you align yourself with what is meant for you. You step into the frequency of your calling. You rise into the identity you were created to embody. And because of that, the next level is no longer a distant dream. It becomes a natural consequence of who you are becoming. Growth places you in the flow of your destiny. Elevation becomes inevitable because you've developed the character required to sustain it. Growth also reveals what you're ready to release. You cannot step in the next level holding on to people who drain you, habits that sabotage you, mindsets that limit you. Growth gives you the courage to let go. It gives you the clarity to move forward without guilt. It gives you the strength to detach from what can't go with you. And the moment you let go of what you've outgrown, you create space for what is aligned with your future. This release sends a signal that you are done negotiating with your past and ready to walk into your promise. The next level is attracted to people who honor their growth. It is attracted to people who show up even when they feel unseen. It is attracted to people who keep learning, keep healing, keep improving, keep rising. Growth is not glamorous. It is not instant. It is not easy. It is the key that unlocks the next chapter of your life. It is the preparation that no one sees, but everyone eventually benefits from. Your growth is the loudest declaration of your readiness. When you rise on the inside, life rises to meet you. When you evolve, your opportunities evolve with you. The next level is not waiting for perfection. It is waiting for maturity, alignment, and readiness. Every step of personal growth is a signal that you are stepping into the person who can handle everything you've been dreaming of. Life you experience is not created by chance, nor is it shaped solely by ambition, talent, or desire. The results you see in your relationships, your work, your opportunities, and your growth are born from the person you are becoming on the inside. Your character, your discipline, and your identity quietly construct the outcomes you encounter long before anything becomes visible. You can pray for elevation, fight for change, and chase success with all your strength. But if the person you are internally does not match the level you are pursuing externally, the results will always fall short of your expectation. Character is the foundation of everything you build. It is the invisible structure beneath your decisions, choices, and behaviors. It determines how you respond under pressure, how you treat people who cannot benefit you, how you conduct yourself when nobody is watching. Character is not built during moments of applause. It is built in moments of testing. It is shaped through honesty, humility, and integrity. You cannot fake character for long. Eventually, who you truly are will rise to the surface. And the world responds to your character, not your performance. It responds to your authenticity, not your appearance. If your character is strong, your results will stand. If your character is weak, your results will crumble. But character alone is not enough. Discipline is the muscle that turns vision into reality. It is the daily commitment to consistency, growth, and focus even when motivation fades. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and results, and without it, potential remains unused. Discipline requires sacrifice of comfort, distraction, and instant gratification. It requires you to show up when you don't feel like it, to push yourself when no one is pushing you, to respect your goals enough to build habits that support them. People admire the results of discipline, but rarely see the cost of it. The early mornings, the quiet nights, the repeated efforts, the setbacks you push through, the habits you refuse to abandon. Discipline is what strengthens your character and reinforces your identity. It trains your mind to choose purpose over pleasure, consistency over chaos, long-term fulfillment over short-term excitement. Without discipline, results remain inconsistent. With discipline, progress becomes inevitable. Identity is the deepest layer of all. It is the story you tell yourself about who you are. It is the beliefs you hold about your worth, your potential, and your destiny. Identity shapes how you walk into rooms, how you handle challenges, and how you respond to opportunities. If you see yourself as unworthy, you will sabotage your blessings. If you see yourself as incapable, you will shrink when doors open. If your identity is tied to fear or past pain, you will stay small even when greatness is calling you forward. But when your identity is rooted in truth, strength, and clarity, your results begin to shift. You stop settling for less. You stop tolerating what drains you. You stop apologizing for your potential. You begin to carry yourself with purpose, speak with confidence, and move with intention. The world responds differently to someone who knows who they are. Opportunities recognize identity. Favor responds to identity. Results align with identity. The combination of character, discipline, and identity is what determines the trajectory of your life. If one of these three is weak, your results will reflect it. If your character is inconsistent, the results you build will be unstable. If your discipline is lacking, your progress will be slow and scattered. If your identity is unclear, your decisions will be hesitant and uncertain. When all three are aligned, your life begins to elevate in ways that feel almost effortless. Most people chase outcomes without working on the person producing those outcomes. They want success without strengthening their identity. They want opportunity without developing discipline. They want recognition without building character. But life does not reward what you want. It rewards who you are. You attract the results that match your level of internal development. If you want different results, you must become a different version of yourself, not in a superficial way, not in a way that imitates others, in a way that aligns with your highest potential. You must be willing to confront your weaknesses, uproot limiting beliefs, break old patterns, develop new habits. You must be willing to grow into the person who can handle the results you are praying for. The results you experience are not accidental. They are reflections of what you've been cultivating within. If you cultivate discipline, your results will reflect consistency. If you cultivate integrity, your results will reflect trust. If you cultivate confidence, your results will reflect courage. If you cultivate clarity, your results will reflect purpose. Your character determines how far you can rise without falling. Your discipline determines how long you can sustain your rise. Your identity determines how high you believe you can go. You cannot rise above the limitations of your identity. You cannot sustain success without discipline. You cannot build a legacy without character. These three pillars are not optional, they are essential. And the people who produce extraordinary results are not the ones who chase results. They are the ones who shape themselves into vessels capable of carrying greatness. Everything you want, success, growth, purpose, fulfillment, opportunity, begins with the inner work, not the public image, not the external performance, but the quiet internal shaping of who you are. When you grow in character, discipline, and identity, life begins to trust you with more. The next level becomes accessible. Doors that were once closed begin to open. People who once doubted you begin to respect you. Results that once seemed impossible become natural outcomes of who you are becoming. Your life will always move in the direction of your internal reality. Strengthen the foundation, and the results will rise. Deepen your identity, and the opportunities will expand. Sharpen your discipline, and your progress will accelerate. Refine your character, and the world will respond differently to you. Elevation is a beautiful desire, but it comes with weight. Blessings are not light. They require strength, structure, stability, and maturity. The dreams you carry, the opportunities you pray for, the things you hope to achieve, all of them demand a version of you strong enough to sustain them. This is why the foundation always comes before the blessing. Without a foundation, even the greatest blessing becomes a burden. Without the groundwork, even the biggest opportunity collapses under its own weight. Every blessing has a responsibility attached to it. Every elevation demands a deeper level of discipline. Every breakthrough requires a stronger identity, and too often, people desire what they are not yet prepared to hold. They want the harvest without planting the seeds. They want the spotlight without surviving the process, the promise without the preparation. But blessings arrive when there is something solid for them to rest on. Foundations are not glamorous. They are built in the dirt, in the quiet, in seasons where nothing seems to be happening on the surface. But while nothing appears visible, everything important is happening beneath. The strongest buildings have the deepest foundations. They spend more time being dug downward before rising upward. They are secured long before they are celebrated, and your life works the same way. You must go deep before you go high. Foundation building season is the season where life stretches you. It tests your patience, your consistency, your emotional maturity, and your commitment to growth. It is the place where you learn discipline in the dark. It's where you break old habits, heal from old wounds, let go of identities that cannot go with you into your future. It's where you learn to manage what you have so you can handle more when it arrives. Blessings do not come to compensate for weakness. They come to amplify what already exists. If the foundation is weak, the blessing will expose it. Many people want the next level, but they do not want the process required to hold it. They want the position without the preparation. They want the influence without the integrity. They want the success without the structure. The blessing you are praying for may require a stronger version of you. It may require new habits, new mindsets, new boundaries, new systems. It may require a level of discipline you have never practiced before. Bigger blessings belong to people who have built themselves into vessels capable of carrying greatness without collapsing under its weight. You cannot rush a foundation. You cannot skip steps. You cannot shortcut growth. If you try to rise too fast, you will fall even faster. When you honor the slow, steady work of building yourself, you become unshakable. You become grounded. You become ready. Foundations protect you from pressure, distractions, and storms. They give you the strength to stand tall when life shakes everything around you. Without a foundation, even the most talented person will crumble. But with one, even the most unexpected individual can rise and carry blessings far beyond what others imagined. Building a foundation means becoming disciplined enough to maintain what you desire. It means practicing consistency even when results seem slow. It means developing emotional resilience so stress doesn't break you. It means learning how to manage time, relationships, finances, opportunities, and responsibilities. It means becoming someone who doesn't just receive blessings, but multiplies them. There is a reason life often holds certain things back from you until you're ready. Not because you're unworthy of the blessing, because the blessing is too powerful to be mishandled. A blessing placed into unprepared hands becomes a burden. Promotion given to an unprepared mind becomes pressure. Influence given to an insecure heart becomes chaos. Success given to an undisciplined life becomes destruction. Preparation is not punishment, it is protection. Foundations are also built through adversity. Many times, the challenges you face are not meant to break you, but to strengthen the base of who you are. When life stretches you, it is stretching your capacity. When life tests you, it is testing your resilience. When life slows you down, it is making sure the ground is firm before you rise. The deeper the foundation, the higher you can go. The stronger the base, the greater the blessing you can carry. Your foundation determines your future. That means the habits you build today influence the opportunities you can sustain tomorrow. The mindset you strengthen today shapes the challenges you can overcome tomorrow. The boundaries you set today protect the blessings you'll receive tomorrow. Sometimes the blessing is delayed not because you are denied, but because the foundation is still forming. Life knows what you are preparing for. Even when you don't, the process might feel slow, but it is sacred. When you build a strong foundation, you become the kind of person who doesn't fear blessings. You welcome them. You handle them with confidence, wisdom, and maturity. You don't sabotage opportunities. You don't shrink under pressure. You don't question your worthiness. You stand firm because you know you built yourself from the inside out. Blessings gravitate toward people who are prepared. Doors open for those who have done the inner work. Opportunities seek out those who have established stability. Life rewards those who respect the process, honor their growth, and build themselves with intention. Do not despise the foundation building season. Do not become discouraged when progress is invisible. Do not compare your timeline to others who are already rising. Every great structure requires time, patience, and depth. What is being built within you is far more valuable than anything that could be given to you prematurely. Your foundation is your strength. Your foundation is your identity. Your foundation is your preparation for the blessings ahead. And once the foundation is ready, elevation will happen naturally. You won't have to chase it. You won't have to force it. You won't have to beg for it. Blessing will recognize the structure you've built and settle on your life with confidence. Stop seeking validation and start seeking growth. This principle is simple in words, yet transformative in practice. So many people live their entire lives chasing the approval of others, adjusting their identity to fit expectations that were never meant for them. They spend their energy trying to impress crowds instead of investing that energy into becoming someone they themselves are proud of. The truth is, validation is a temporary high. It fades, it shifts. It depends on the moods and opinions of people who are often unsure of themselves. But growth, genuine, personal internal growth, that stays with you, that elevates you, that reshapes your entire future from the inside out. When you seek validation, your worth becomes fragile. You hand over your power to opinions that change like the weather. You start performing instead of living. You start shrinking yourself to avoid criticism. You begin measuring your progress with someone else's ruler, and the tragedy is you forget who you really are. When you seek growth, everything changes. Your worth becomes rooted, not borrowed. Your confidence comes from what you're becoming, not from what people say about you. Your direction comes from vision, not comparison. Validation forces you to focus outward, constantly looking around to see who's watching, who's approving, who's clapping. But growth turns your focus inward, asking who you are, who you're becoming, and what you're capable of. Validation makes you reactive, always adjusting yourself to please others. Growth makes you proactive, always rising to improve yourself for your own journey. The most dangerous thing about constantly seeking approval is that it slowly steals your identity. You start wearing masks that were never meant for you. You adjust your personality to fit social expectations, even if those expectations suffocate the real you. And eventually, the applause becomes addictive. You start craving the noise because you've lost the ability to trust your own voice. Growth teaches you how to hear yourself again. It teaches you how to recognize your own potential, how to honor your own desires, to trust your own intuition. Growth isn't glamorous. It requires honesty and discipline, demands that you face your weaknesses without shame and commit to strengthening them. It invites you to confront your fears, break your patterns, rebuild your thinking. Growth pushes you out of comfort zones and into transformation. It stretches you, challenges you, and exposes the places in your life that require maturity. But with every stretch comes new strength. With every challenge comes new clarity. Every struggle comes a new version of you that's wiser, stronger, and more aligned with your destiny. A validation will trap you in cycles of comparison. You'll spend your days measuring your worth based on who's ahead of you or who seems more successful. Growth frees you from comparisons because it teaches you to compete only with the person you were yesterday. It shows you that your journey is unique. Your pace is personal. Your timing is intentional. You stop trying to outrun others and start investing in your own evolution. And that shift alone can change your entire life trajectory. When you chase validation, you move with insecurity. When you chase growth, you move with intention, and intention shapes destiny. Growth transforms how you think, how you speak, how you act, how you show up. It elevates your mindset so that obstacles no longer feel like threats but opportunities. It builds resilience so challenges don't break you. They build you. Deepens your self-awareness so you understand your strengths and weaknesses with clarity. Growth teaches you discipline, responsibility, and emotional intelligence. Qualities validation can never give you. Growth also brings you in alignment with your purpose. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, the right relationships start appearing. The right opportunities start aligning. The right doors start opening because everything in life responds to who you are internally. If you grow into someone who is consistent, focused, responsible, and prepared, success naturally finds you. You don't need to chase applause because your excellence speaks louder than any approval you could beg for. Eventually, you realize that validation from others is far too small a reward for the person you are becoming. You realize that external approval cannot compare to the peace that comes from internal growth. You stop needing people to clap for you because your transformation becomes its own motivation. You stop needing people to agree with you because your confidence comes from clarity, not popularity. You stop needing the world to approve your steps because you finally trust the path you're walking. Growth also changes the way you see success. Instead of trying to look successful, you focus on becoming successful from the inside out. You develop character before spotlight, discipline before recognition, integrity before influence. You learn that the strongest foundations are built in private long before the world sees the results. Because your foundation is strong, you're able to handle more, carry more, and rise higher without collapsing under pressure. When you stop seeking validation, you free yourself. You claim your power back. You begin living a life that reflects your purpose, not people's opinions. You walk with a sense of freedom because you're no longer controlled by the shifting winds of public approval. That freedom is what unlocks your true potential. So stop chasing applause. Stop lowering yourself to be liked. Stop dimming your light to fit into spaces you've outgrown. Pour your energy into growth, into learning, improving, evolving, maturing, expanding. Become someone your future self will thank you for. Become someone who doesn't need validation because your growth speaks louder than opinions, louder than doubts, louder than your past. When you focus on growth, you rise without forcing it. You attract what aligns with you. You build a life that's stable, authentic, meaningful, and powerful. And the best part, you won't need anyone to validate it, because who you become will validate itself. Life does not deliver opportunities to the unprepared. It does not hand blessings to those who are not ready to handle them. The truth is, the universe or life or destiny, however you see it, responds not to what you want, but to who you are becoming. Opportunities do not appear because you are desperate for them. They appear because you have invested in yourself, because you have developed a version of yourself capable of carrying what is coming. The world does not meet you at your desire. It meets you at your level of readiness. When you look around and see others seemingly receiving opportunities effortlessly, it may seem unfair. You may feel overlooked, delayed, or stuck. But what you cannot see is the invisible work they have done on themselves. The late nights, the long hours, the failures they faced and conquered. The knowledge they gained, the discipline they cultivated, the strength of character they built quietly in the background. Opportunities respond to growth. They follow preparation. They seek out readiness. And so if you are not seeing the opportunities you desire, it is not because life is punishing you. It is because your inner growth has not yet reached the level required to sustain the blessing. The right version of yourself is developed intentionally, requires reflection, self-discipline, and courage. It demands that you confront your weaknesses, face your fears, and break cycles that no longer serve you. Requires you to expand your mind, strengthen your character, and sharpen your skills. You cannot hope for opportunities that align with greatness while remaining unchanged from the person you were yesterday. Your internal development must match the external life you want to live. If it doesn't, the opportunities that do appear will either be wasted or overwhelm you. Developing the right version of yourself is not about imitation. It is not about copying someone else's path or trying to fit into molds that were never meant for you. It is about becoming the highest, truest, most capable version of yourself. The person who is uniquely equipped to carry your specific purpose and your unique calling. The more you evolve inwardly, the more capable you become of recognizing the doors meant for you and stepping through them with confidence, clarity, and wisdom. The universe notices that growth, even if no one else does. They are drawn to energy, skill, and character. A person who has honed their mindset, strengthened their discipline, and clarified their vision emits a signal that is impossible to ignore. People will notice you. Connections will come. Doors that were once closed begin to swing open effortlessly. What once seemed impossible now becomes a natural result of who you have become. That is the power of developing the right version of yourself. Your growth attracts the right opportunities automatically. Too many people chase opportunities without developing themselves first. They want promotions without improving their skills. They want influence without strengthening their integrity. They want recognition without expanding their capacity. And because they are unprepared, they struggle, falter, they become frustrated, and they sometimes sabotage their own chance. The lesson is clear. The right opportunities appear when you build the right person to handle them. Development must come first. Elevation follows naturally. Developing the right version of yourself is both an internal and external process. Internally, it requires shaping your mindset, strengthening your resolve, cultivating resilience, and building self-awareness. You must learn to manage your emotions, control your thoughts, and expand your capacity for patience and persistence. Externally, it requires practice, skill acquisition, habit formation, and strategic action. You cannot expect opportunity to appear without preparation. You cannot step into greatness without readiness. The right version of yourself is a combination of internal maturity and external competence. The process of becoming the right version of yourself is not always easy. It is uncomfortable. It stretches you. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself you have been avoiding. It requires discipline when you feel like giving up. It demands that you make sacrifices for the sake of growth. But these are the very things that prepare you for the weight of opportunity. Every struggle you endure, every lesson you learn, every skill you master becomes part of the foundation that attracts the life you are meant to live. Once you develop yourself, opportunities begin to find you. You may not even be looking for them, and yet they appear because you are ready. That is the law of alignment. The universe responds to readiness. When you are prepared, doors open. When you are capable, challenges become chances for advancement. When you are clear, guidance finds you. And when you have the strength, capacity, and wisdom to manage new opportunities, life entrusts them to you confidently. Opportunities flow toward those who are ready to receive them. Opportunities are not random, they are the fruit of preparation. When you develop the right version of yourself, you start to notice patterns. You start to see connections that others miss. You begin to recognize the right timing and the right people. You step into the right conversations, the right environments, the right projects. You become magnetic to the opportunities that align with your purpose. And because you have prepared yourself, you can carry these opportunities without fear, without hesitation, and without compromising your integrity. Developing the right version of yourself also prepares you to handle setbacks. Opportunities are rarely smooth or perfect. Challenges, competition, and resistance are part of the process. But when you have developed resilience, knowledge, and confidence internally, you can navigate these obstacles with grace. You are no longer shaken by temporary failures or external opinions. You have built the inner strength necessary to persist until the right opportunities fully manifest and bear fruit. Finally, developing the right version of yourself ensures that the opportunities you receive are sustainable. Many people are given blessings they cannot maintain because they were not ready. They receive recognition they cannot handle, wealth they cannot manage, influence they are not prepared for. But when you invest in growth and readiness, every opportunity that appears has the capacity to transform your life positively. You are prepared to steward it. You are prepared to maximize it. You are prepared to honor it. The journey of self-development is the most powerful investment you can make. Every lesson you learn, every habit you cultivate, every skill you master, every fear you conquer, every mindset you refine, it all contributes to creating the person who can attract the right opportunities. Life does not hand out what you are not ready to carry. The right doors only open when the right version of you stands in front of them. When you stop chasing external validation and start focusing on internal growth, stop seeking quick wins and start preparing yourself for lasting success, the right opportunities appear. You stop chasing luck and start creating alignment. You stop begging for chance and start building capacity. You stop hoping for results and start becoming the results you want to see. And in that moment, the universe, the world, life, destiny begins to respond. Doors open, people notice, timing aligns, and the opportunities you were waiting for finally arrive because you have become the person capable of carrying them. In life, there are no shortcuts. There is no bypass around preparation. If you want the right opportunities, you must become the right person. Elevation always follows evolution. Readiness always precedes reward. Growth always precedes opportunity. Develop yourself, strengthen your mindset, expand your skills, sharpen your character, and the right opportunities will no longer be something you chase. They will be drawn to you effortlessly because you have become someone who can carry them with grace, wisdom, and power. Life responds to who you are, not just what you do. The world measures results, accomplishments, and appearances, but true elevation, lasting success, peace, influence, and fulfillment comes from a much deeper place. It begins within. Internal alignment is the process of bringing your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, habits, and actions into harmony with your purpose, your values, the version of yourself you are meant to become. Until this alignment exists, external elevation is limited. You may achieve temporary success. It will never feel stable, sustainable, or truly yours. When your inner world is in order, external elevation is inevitable. Internal alignment is the harmony between your values and your actions. It is the state where what you believe matches how you behave. When your inner thoughts, emotions, and intentions are coherent, your energy is clear. You no longer fight yourself or resist your own purpose. You move through life with focus, clarity, confidence. This alignment sends a signal to the universe, to people, and to opportunities. You are ready for more. You are prepared to receive greater responsibility. You are capable of handling elevated circumstances. And that signal attracts the right resources, people, and opportunities toward you. Without internal alignment, elevation becomes chaotic and unsustainable. You may climb in career status or influence. Without coherence between your inner and outer world, that climb becomes exhausting. Conflicts arise, stress intensifies, and results are inconsistent. You may reach a position of external success only to find yourself unprepared emotionally, spiritually, or mentally to manage it. Elevation that comes without internal alignment is fragile. It wobbles, it shakes, and it often collapses under pressure. Real elevation is a reflection of internal stability. Alignment begins with self-awareness. You must understand who you are, what you value, and what you stand for. You must face your fears, recognize your strengths, and acknowledge your weaknesses. Internal alignment is impossible if you are living by someone else's expectations, chasing other people's dreams, or conforming to external pressures. You must define your own standards, your own goals, and your own version of success. The moment you begin living intentionally according to your own principles, you start creating the foundation for true elevation. Emotional alignment is also critical. Your feelings must match your focus. If you desire success but carry unresolved fear, resentment, or doubt, your energy will repel the very opportunities you are seeking. Emotional alignment is about processing your past, healing your wounds, and developing the resilience necessary to carry the responsibilities that elevation demands. When your heart and mind are coherent, you act decisively. You navigate challenges calmly. You make choices that serve your long-term vision rather than short-term comfort. External elevation follows naturally when your inner emotional state is disciplined, balanced, and clear. Alignment also includes your beliefs. Your thoughts create your reality. Limiting beliefs act as invisible chains, restricting the height of your external growth. You may have skill, talent, opportunity, but if your internal programming is filled with doubt, fear, or self-sabotage, your elevation will stall. Aligning your beliefs with your potential rewires your approach to challenges. It trains you to see possibilities instead of barriers. It prepares you to embrace opportunities that once would have intimidated or overwhelmed you. Belief alignment transforms what seems impossible into what is achievable. Discipline and habit are extensions of alignment. Internal alignment is not just abstract thought or spiritual awareness. It manifests in your daily routines. Your consistent actions must reflect your values, your vision, and your purpose. If your habits are chaotic, inconsistent, or misaligned, your external life will reflect that chaos. But if your habits, priorities, and actions match the person you want to become, your external circumstances will follow. Daily alignment is the bridge between internal readiness and external manifestation. Internal alignment is also about authenticity. Elevation cannot be sustained when it is based on pretense, masks, or the need for approval. People who operate out of alignment often feel the stress of living a life that is not theirs. They succeed superficially, but they struggle internally. True external elevation comes when your inner identity and external expression are aligned. When you are authentic, the right people, opportunities, and circumstances are drawn to you. You no longer chase. Instead, life responds to the real you. Authenticity attracts resonance. Resonance leads to elevation. Timing and patience are part of internal alignment as well. Alignment is not instantaneous. It requires reflection, preparation, and growth. You must develop the capacity to wait for the right moment, to act intentionally rather than react impulsively. Elevation arrives in proportion to your internal readiness. You cannot rush what you are not prepared to carry. Internal alignment teaches patience and strategic timing, which ensures that when elevation occurs, it is sustainable and transformative rather than fleeting and chaotic. Internal alignment also empowers resilience. Life will test you, push you, challenge you. When your internal world is aligned, you have an anchor. You can withstand setbacks without losing momentum. You can face criticism without doubting yourself. You can endure failure without abandoning your vision. External elevation is fragile without inner stability. When alignment is complete, you rise through adversity and challenges become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Finally, internal alignment communicates readiness. People, opportunities, and circumstances sense the energy of a person in alignment. There is a magnetism to coherence, an energy that draws the right situation to the right person at the right time. When your inner life, your values, your emotions, your beliefs, and your actions are aligned, you radiate a readiness that attracts external elevation. Opportunities that once seemed unreachable now appear naturally. Influence, recognition, success begin to flow because you have become someone capable of carrying them. The truth is simple: external elevation is never random. It is always a reflection of internal preparation. If you want lasting influence, prosperity, and achievement, focus first on internal alignment. Shape your character, align your habits, strengthen your mind, heal your heart, clarify your purpose, bring your emotions, actions, and beliefs into harmony. When you achieve this, the world will respond accordingly. Elevation is no longer something you chase. It becomes the natural reflection of your internal coherence. Internal alignment creates external elevation because the outside world is always mirroring the inside. Your results, your opportunities, your success, your influence are a reflection of your internal state. Align yourself and elevation will follow. Misalign yourself, every achievement will feel temporary, unstable, and incomplete. The choice is yours. Invest in inner coherence. Continue chasing external results that may never sustain you. True power begins within, and when alignment is achieved, heights of your potential become inevitable. Too many people chase success. They chase recognition, accolades, promotions, wealth, influence, or status. They run after outcomes, hoping that these external symbols will finally validate their worth or prove that they are capable. But success is rarely captured by chasing alone. It is caught by those who are committed to becoming. True success does not arrive as a result of force or frantic pursuit. It comes naturally, inevitably, and powerfully to the person who focuses on becoming the version of themselves that is prepared, aligned, and capable of carrying it. Becoming is the internal work that precedes external results. It is the refining of character, the sharpening of skills, the deepening of discipline, and the expansion of vision. It is the conscious effort to grow into someone capable of handling greater responsibility, greater influence, and greater opportunity. When you focus on becoming, you are not distracted by applause, recognition, or comparison. You are not dependent on others' approval or validation. You are investing in the one person who will always accompany you through life yourself. And when you invest in yourself, success becomes an inevitable byproduct, not a distant goal. Focusing on becoming requires patience. It requires enduring seasons of preparation where results are invisible. It requires doing the work even when no one is watching. It requires believing in the process when the outcomes seem delayed. Many people fail because they expect instant success. They chase rewards before the internal growth is ready to support them. But the reality is that what you become determines what you can sustain. The universe or destiny will not hand over more than you are capable of carrying. That is why becoming always comes first. Becoming also demands discipline. Discipline is the bridge between desire and result. It is the quiet consistency, the repeated efforts, the long nights, and the sacrifices that others rarely see. When you focus on becoming, you practice discipline in your thoughts, your actions, your habits, and your choices. You show up daily even when motivation fades. You push forward even when progress is slow. You prioritize growth over comfort, integrity over shortcuts, and long-term success over temporary pleasure. Discipline shapes you into someone who naturally attracts success because the habits of the prepared person are aligned with results. Character is another essential part of becoming. The world rewards integrity, resilience, and wisdom. People notice how you respond under pressure, how you treat those who cannot benefit you, and how you maintain composure when challenges arise. When you focus on becoming, you cultivate a character strong enough to hold success without being compromised by it. Many chase success without strengthening their character. When it arrives, it overwhelms them. But those who become first are able to carry success gracefully, use it wisely, multiply it beyond what others thought possible. Focusing on becoming also means focusing on growth rather than outcomes. When you invest in learning, mastering new skills, expanding your mindset, and evolving emotionally and spiritually, success begins to chase you naturally. It is drawn to your energy, your preparation, and your readiness. You no longer need to hustle desperately after opportunities because the work you have done internally positions you in the path of inevitability. Your competence, confidence, and clarity make success recognize that you are ready. You become magnetic to the opportunities, people, and resources that align with your purpose. Becoming requires resilience. Life will test you. Challenges will push against you. Criticism will try to shake you. Failure will knock on your door repeatedly. But when you focus on becoming, these trials are no longer obstacles, they are refining tools. They stretch your capacity, strengthen your resolve, and teach you lessons that no shortcut could provide. Every setback becomes a stepping stone. Every moment of resistance becomes a chance to grow stronger. The person who focuses on becoming uses adversity as fuel for elevation, knowing that the difficulties faced today are preparing them for the victories of tomorrow. Vision is also crucial to the process of becoming. Those who focus on becoming have a clear sense of purpose. They know not just what they want, but who they are meant to be. They see beyond the immediate results and understand that success is not a moment. It is a reflection of consistent growth and alignment with one's true potential. Clarity directs their actions, filters their decisions, and keeps them consistent when distractions, comparisons, and pressures arise. A person with vision becomes irresistible to success because their energy, focus, and preparation match the opportunities that are waiting for them. Importantly, focusing on becoming builds authenticity. Success cannot sustain itself on pretense, imitation, or borrowed identity. When you become the real you, the strongest, most capable, most aligned version of yourself. You no longer chase applause, mimic others, or adjust your identity to fit external expectations. Your life begins to operate from integrity and authenticity. People, opportunities, and results respond to authenticity. When you are aligned internally, success finds you because it resonates with who you truly are, not with a mask you are wearing. Another aspect of becoming is patience with timing. Elevation never appears before preparation. Success will wait until you have built the skills, discipline, and resilience to handle it. Many people give up too soon, thinking that their efforts are in vain. Focusing on becoming teaches you to trust the process. It teaches you that every season of growth, every struggle, and every lesson is purposeful. The time success overtakes you, it does so effortlessly because you have developed the capacity to handle it wisely, gracefully, and sustainably. Focusing on becoming also creates a momentum that no external force can stop. The person who grows internally becomes unstoppable externally. Habits, discipline, character compound over time, knowledge multiplies, confidence solidifies, emotional intelligence deepens, and eventually the accumulation of internal growth becomes visible externally. People notice opportunities appear, doors open. Success overtakes you, not because you demanded it, but because you became the kind of person who naturally draws it toward you. Becoming is the magnet, And success is simply the response. Finally, focusing on becoming transforms your relationship with success. When you chase it, success can feel fleeting, stressful, or hollow. When you focus on becoming, success becomes a natural extension of your growth. It no longer defines your worth, it reflects it. No longer dominates your focus. It validates your preparation. No longer surprises you. It rewards you for the investment you made in yourself long before anyone else saw the change. By the time success overtakes you, it feels inevitable, deserved, and fulfilling. Do not chase success. Do not measure your worth by temporary achievements, external recognition, approval of others. Instead, focus on becoming. Build your character, sharpen your skills, deepen your discipline, expand your mindset, heal your inner world, align your identity with your purpose. When you do this, success no longer needs to be pursued. It naturally finds you. Elevation becomes the reflection of evolution. Growth becomes the prelude to achievement. And when you focus on becoming, success will inevitably overtake you in perfect timing, at the right magnitude, and in a way you are fully prepared to sustain.